All right, hey y'all.
Hey.
Hope you're having a good evening. I just finished up an amazing class for Wife Rep You Season 2 on Money Matters. And Bruce was one of the special guests for tonight, and he was sharing some amazing things. And I was like, let me just hop on live to talk about this really quickly. It may help some people, and so we're going to jump right into it. So Bruce, can you share a little bit of what you shared tonight on our call about the home buying process? So what is the home buying process, and how can someone prepare actually to move into the process? So yes, and please share this video if you're watching the replay, because there's people that really want to have a greater understanding in this area as they move forward in their future.
100%. Please share. Yeah. I think tonight was a great class. It seemed like everybody had a good time, and you always have good stuff on the classes. So we talked about a lot of things. We talked about credit. We talked about income.
Yes.
And then we talked just a little bit about the home buying process, and I'll share. There are really three major steps to the home buying process, and I'll talk about each one of them just a little bit. The first one is the financing step. The second part is the home search step, and then the third part is the negotiations phase. So I'm actually looking at Facebook Live on one of these and Instagram on the other one.
True.
And I don't know which one to look at, so I'm gonna try and look at both. So if I'm looking at you, that's good. If I'm looking here, that's cool as well. So the first phase, let's talk about the financial part, because that's probably the most important part. And that's the part that you kind of start taking care of in advance.
Yeah.
So when we're talking about finances, one of the things is you are going to need some money to actually put down on your home, right? So when you purchase a home, there are a couple of different payments. One obviously is the mortgage payment. Everybody's familiar with that. That's the payment that you make every month to the mortgage company if you're getting a mortgage on your home. But the other part of it that people don't know as much about is the money that you bring to the closing table, or the money that you pay out of pocket the day you actually purchase the home. That sum of money is called your down payment, and it's also there's another part of it attached called your closing costs, right? So your down payment and closing costs. Typically, down payment and closing costs combined are going to be somewhere around 5%. Right now, there are a lot of programs that are available, especially if you're in Maryland, in the DMV area. There are a lot of programs that are available that can help you with the down payment and the closing costs, which is the money that you bring out of pocket. On average, though, like I said, it's between 3 and 5% that you want to have saved. Even if you use a down payment program, you still want to have some money saved, because you don't want to be dependent on that program. And even if you are in one of those types of programs, you want to have money for your home purchase anyway. So one of the tips is, some numbers. Okay. Yeah. So like on a right now, an average first-time home buyer in Prince George's County is spending like between $280,000 and $300,000 on a nicer single-family home, or even we're really even saying that in townhomes right now. And so that's one that's renovated inside, looks really nice, that type of thing. So you would need, or you would want to put away at between 3 and 5% if you can. So 3% on what, 300,000 would be 9,000. So that'd be between 9 and 12,000. Now, if you don't have that much, that's okay, because again, there are programs available that can give you either grant money or an additional loan for that. Now, here's the thing, and this is one of the biggest mistakes that people make, especially in the first part, which is this financing part, is not reaching out and talking to real estate professionals early in the process. Like, a lot of times people feel like, I gotta have all this money saved, I've gotta have my plan, I've gotta know exactly what to do, and then you realize, you know what, I don't know what to do.
Right. I don't know where to do. I don't know where to start.
I'm gonna start, but I don't know how to start.
Right.
So the best way to start is actually to speak to someone who's in real estate. Right. So to speak to a mortgage lender, or even to speak to a real estate agent that can give you an idea of what you
Now,
would need to do.
why do you think that some people don't reach out to lenders and real estate agents?
Well,
yet?
there's two major reasons. The first reason is sometimes it can be fear of the unknown, or fear of, I don't know if this person is trying to get over on me or take advantage of me. But the second major reason is because people don't realize that for a buyer in a real estate transaction, there's typically no out-of-pocket cost for any of the real estate professionals involved. So in other words, as a buyer, you don't pay the realtor. And you don't pay the lender
Right.
directly.
Yeah, directly.
The selling party is paying the commissions for the real estate agent. Now, the lender, you do pay them because of the closing costs and their fees and that. But as far as talking to a real estate agent, or even a real estate agent representing you in the purchase of your home, you don't pull out $250 and give them that on the front. If they ask for that, find you somebody else. Roll out. Yes. You don't have to pay anything to have that conversation.
Right.
And even if you proceed in the home purchasing process, you don't pay anything out of pocket. The commissions in a real estate deal are paid typically by the seller. So you get free professional help with someone who walks through these transactions all the time. So if you have plans of buying, or you'd like to buy, I say that first phase, the financial phase, is really important to reach out and talk to somebody. Yeah. Of course, I'm available. If you'd like to reach out and talk to me, you can schedule a time for us to get on the phone and talk at meetingwithbruce.com. Meetingwithbruce, that's my name, Bruce.com. In fact, if somebody's live on here, can you just put that in the comments? Just meetingwithbruce.com, and you could click the link and pick a time. I'd be happy to answer any of your questions.
I have another question, because you're on step one, and this is supposed to be a short video, but
my bad. Sorry.
we just getting off a class. But I have a question. How soon should someone reach out to a professional to get help? Like, is it, if they're 1 year out, 2 years out? Well, like, what do you recommend? 6 months out? Like,
I think if you would like to buy, if you're buying a home, if you're planning to do it sometime in the next 12 months even, it's not too early. It's better to be too early than too late. You don't want to call up the real estate agent or get in touch with the lender and say, hey, I'm looking to move next month.
Right.
Because there's a lot more involved in the process than, renting an apartment or even renting a home. Typically, you're looking at, once you really start, anywhere between 60 and sometimes 90 days. Now, in the market the way it is right now, it can take even longer. And the reason is because so many people are buying homes. So I would say that sooner is better than later. And if you're looking to buy anytime within the next 12 months, it's a good thing to have that conversation. Because let's say you have the conversation and you find out there are a few things on my credit. That's another one that people are like, well, I got to get my credit fixed. It's no problem, right?
Right, but you can find out.
You can find out what exactly you need to do to actually boost your credit score if you're talking to, professionals that have resources and kind of know what's going on, to actually boost your credit score to what you need it to be. The biggest thing is the procrastination of saying, I need to get my credit together. But what does that actually mean?
Right. And I wanted to say just a personal testimony for when we were purchasing our house and we began to talk to the lender. Of course, we had a real estate agent, but talked to the lender 2 years in advance before we actually got the house. They were able to, when they pulled my credit, they were able to look and say, okay, this is what you need to do. This is what you need to pay off to get your credit score to the right place where you all can get approved for a certain amount of money for your home. So that's another reason why it's so important to talk to the right professional so that you can know exactly what you need to do or what steps you need to take to get approved for the amount that you would like to spend on your new home.
Yeah. So absolutely, I would say that's huge. So again, thank you. Somebody wrote that domain in the comments. It was meetingwithbruce.com.
Yes.
And if you wanted to have a conversation and ask any questions about home buying or selling, I'd be happy to do that with you. The second phase is kind of the exciting time. It can also be the stressful time, and that's the home search time. And go ahead.
I was going to say, if you're just tuning in, we're talking about the home buying process. Hopefully you know.
Yeah. She had a wife prep you call
Yes,
tonight,
yes.
and we were talking about these things on the call, so we figured we'd continue the conversation here. So in the search phase, that's when typically you and the real estate agent that you're working with at that point are looking for the right home in the right neighborhood at the right price with the right terms. And that's different for everyone. That can be a fun part of the process. It can also be a stressful part of the process, depending on what's happening in the market and what your needs and wants are. But, that's the time when you're out looking for homes that are available. And then the third phase of it is the negotiation phase. And in that phase, that's where, typically you're not doing a whole lot. It's normally the professionals that are in there helping and making sure you're understanding what's going on and making sure you're getting the best deal possible. So that first phase is very important, which is the financing part. And if you can have that conversation, 10, 15-minute conversation, you can be one step closer to your goal if one of your goals is purchasing a home.
Yeah, and so I'm not sure if anybody's on here that has a question, but you can go ahead and type it in the chat. I see one of my Wife Prep Season 2 ladies. She said, I'm so glad y'all finished up the conversation here. I really wanted to hear this information. Yes. Yes.
Oh,
yes.
man,
So our class was 2 hours long tonight, but if you have any questions, you can go ahead and put it in the chat. Was there anything else you wanted to share? Maybe about, maybe a myth when it comes to the home buying process that many people believe. You can share I think you already shared one of the mistakes that people make in the home buying process. But if you want to share either one of those, you can go ahead.
Yeah, I think a huge, probably the biggest mistake, and I mentioned it before, I'll say it a different way, is counting yourself out before you even know.
Jay said start over.
Counting yourself out before you even know what the real deal is.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so that's been one huge thing. And I think a lot of times people who have the goal of buying a home or owning a home avoid that conversation far too long. And then when you actually do have the conversation, you're like, you know what? I could do this.
Yes. And I'm so glad you brought that up. We've had many conversations with people. And sometimes when you hear the larger numbers, like when you hear 200,000, 300,000, 400,000 home, you're like, oh, no way in the world I can afford that. But can you just kind of talk about like an average mortgage on like 200, 300,000 compared to renting,
Yeah, so in reality, the mortgage payment or the monthly payments on a home purchase a lot of times are lower than rent or the same. So for instance, when we were renting at one point, we were renting an apartment. I think our rent was like $1,850 when we left, something like that.
It was probably higher because from $1,850 to $19, 2-bedroom apartment, 1 bath.
Right.
1 bath.
Right. And so that, depending on the interest rate and your credit and all those things, but you could say that's around a $280,000 to $290,000 mortgage payment, right? And so, for instance, I was just looking at working with a buyer last week, and because of a brand new program that's out, which I've never seen anything like this before, you literally, in Montgomery County, Maryland, you literally at this point could move into a home for really almost no money down.
Yeah.
And get in there and pay $1,800 or $1,900 a month, which you're already paying anyway if you're renting somewhere. And down payment and closing costs are pretty much paid for through the program. So the monthly payment at those prices is most likely very close to what you already are paying on a monthly basis in rent anyway. The difference between renting and owning is when you rent, you don't have any opportunity to build equity, right? Which is very important. Equity is the difference between what a home is worth and what you owe. So if your home is worth $200,000 and you owe $150, right? Then that $50,000 in between is the equity there, and you can tap into that money by selling the property, by a home equity line of credit, by refinancing, and use that $50,000 to go and buy a rental property or to go and invest it in your business or to do whatever you'd like to do. You don't get those same opportunities with just renting. You just pay the rent until they raise it too high.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of reasons to take a look at those.
Yeah, that's so good. That's so good. So, I think if you could give one tip, this was supposed to be a short video. How long we been on here? But we love y'all. So, one tip on how to prepare right now. So, say if I'm just like, I know everybody's in different seasons, but what is one tip that, people can start, how they can start to prepare?
Well, okay, I'll give one. I'll give two real quick, like 1.5. All right, so one would be getting to know what your credit score looks like right now. Don't be afraid of that. Mm-hmm. Go out and check it out. One free way to do it is at creditkarma.com. They will give you a very estimated type of score. It won't be exact, but you can get an exact one at freecreditreport.com. So that's number one, is getting an idea of what your credit score looks like, and then talking to someone about how to improve it. Don't just get it and look at it and be like, dang, I need to work on my credit, but not necessarily know what to do.
Right.
Because there's certain things that you can do to improve it. That's what people do. They're like, man, I got to work on this. Ooh. Throw it out. All right. I'll put it off another 2 years. And then the second thing I would recommend would be to open up another account. Maybe it's a savings account that is dedicated to putting money away for your purchase.
That's good.
So, you get some extra money, put it in there. You get the tax return, put it in there. And you use that as your account for your purchase. So those are two.
Those are
quick
good.
tips
Those are really good.
Tonight.
Look, y'all, do me a favor.
And then the last quick tip is this.
Before you tell them, share this video because somebody needs to know. Like, a lot of us, everybody's in different seasons, but there are people out there that are like, you know what? I think it's about time, or in 1 year, or in 2 years, or in 3 years, I want to buy a home, but I just don't know where to start. So we just wanted to give some practical tips because it's important. So the last tip is what?
If you want to have the conversation or ask any questions, I would be happy to answer those questions. No, I'm not like some high pressure sales guy. It's not like, now's your time. I think most of the people on the live stream, they already know. So look, if you just want to ask questions and get clarity on that process, you can go to meetingwithbruce.com, and just schedule a time. We'll talk and help you.
Yeah, and you also not seen Bruce, like some people that they want to purchase in some months or in a year. He also will help you to get in contact with a lender for free, so you can see where you are right now and also see what you will qualify for, whether you qualify for what amount you qualify for in regards to your purchase time. So don't be afraid to reach out to, whether it's Bruce or whether it's someone else. It don't have to be.
It does not have to be me.
Right.
But
just
if you
talk to somebody,
talk to someone.
Yes.
If you're going to, if home ownership is an aspiration, and so we're again just continuing this conversation from the her wife prep call. Somebody said, "What's a good way to go about negotiating a good deal when you find a place that you like?" Well, there's a lot of different ways. And so that's one of the reasons to have somebody who knows, like a professional on your team, because they're going to be able to negotiate probably a lot better than you would because of the fact that they do it day in and day out. And so there are a lot of different ways in negotiating, because negotiation is not just about a lower price. There's price, there's terms, there's timing, all of those things go into negotiation, and a real estate professional that's worth their weight would be able to help you do that. So
yes. So somebody said, I'm trying to buy a crib soon. I was just scrolling on Zillow. Yes, that's where many people stop, because they start seeing the numbers and be like, but no, reach out to someone to help you through the process. Yeah, so we just wanted to share this, and I hope you all got something. Share this video real quick. I'm going to book my appointment. Yeah, awesome.
Cool. I'll be happy to talk to you.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, y'all. We love you. We got to go get Malachi. And so hopefully you enjoyed this little real life conversation, and we'll see you soon.
All right.
Bye.
Peace.
I'm pushing on that one. I'm pushing on this one.